Hola, Rebels. Raw Rebel Talk here. Don't mind my hair. It's a bit wild. But yeah. So I had this thought that maybe, just maybe, like I've said in a previous video, of a previous live or video, that I feel like I've lived, or I feel like I'm responsible for what's going on. And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like as if like it's a pattern, like everybody's opening up their minds, and I've pretty much been the one to open them up. Or like I said, maybe I'm in like some kind of weird delusion. I don't know. But I feel like this. I feel like everybody in America is following the same path that I took. Because years ago, I was in a state of overthinking. And right now, I feel like everybody is overthinking everything. And there's information and ways of things coming in from all over the place. And for me, at the time, I was going homeless. So I was overthinking a lot. Nobody was helping me. America is pretty much going through the same phase, if you think about it in a weird way. So America is going through a phase where going broke, no one's helping her, except for one person, which I don't know who that person could be, honestly, but one person helps her. But then we find it that we're struggling to pretty much get out of the get out of the mindset or get out of the struggle of becoming broke. So that's fine. You're here. So, anyways, so we're in the struggle of trying to come out of getting broke, most of us. So, anyways, so while I was doing that, during that phase in my life, while I was trying to get not become broke or whatever, I had a huge epiphany. And that's when I told you guys about the whole entire thing that I seen, the light, and I knew something was with the light, and I went to a different realm or whatever in my mind. So I have a feeling like if I can predict the future, we're about to see some really crazy shit. Some really crazy shit. And it's going to take people to another realm. I'm not sure what it's going to be. It could be, some people think God is going to return and stuff like that. But I think that it's not going to be the end. It's not going to be the end. It's just going to be what we witness together in America, obviously. Because if you look around, all the other countries seem to be doing fine. America's the only one that seems to be doing fucking fucked up craziness. And I mean, as far as I know, not every country, but there's a lot of countries that aren't having any issues with their people. And I think that I think that I don't know. I just have like some weird reason to believe it has something to do with my life and me and the way I lived. So if I'm right about it, something really phenomenal is going to happen that's going to change everybody's lives. Some will have their minds opened to the point of some will have their minds opened and will see the world in a new light. And then there's those that will want to revert back for other people or for certain things. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that either, because if you take that path, it leads you back down to the same road of your mind opening again. But I think that you shouldn't take that path. I think that we should all be heading towards where the new realm is. I mean, we all have different opinions on stuff. So, let's see. What is this? This is raw rebel talk. I'm just talking. But anyways, so I think after that, the aftermath after that, after the big gigantic thing that's going to happen, that's going to show us something different and unite us. It may unite us, it may not. It's kind of hard to keep the United States united, but hopefully it will unite us. And after we get united, it's going to bring us to, I'm trying to remember back what happened in my life. Let me see. So a lot of people are going through part of confusion and disarray right now, until we get to a certain part where we lose our minds and go down a path of where we end up seeing something phenomenal. But it's not the end. Like I said, it's not the end. It's not the end. I just want to know what happens next. Next, we're going to end up more confused Understandable. More confused. And then we'll see. We'll see that everything's going to be all right in the end, obviously. But it should be a really, really, really phenomenal thing that we're about to see. Something so phenomenal, something so spectacular. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be super interesting. I think that I don't know where it's going to come. I assume it's going to come from the sky. I have an idea that it might be the sun, like the sun, because that's where I think God or the creator is. The creator is God, sun, or yourself, sun. Um, or maybe Jesus, son. I mean, that's the creator. And like I like to think of it like this, like sometimes when I look up at the at the sun because I do sun gaze from now and time again, sometimes I sun gaze. I like to think of like what if the sun is really a pupil, right? A pupil of something, somebody's eye staring at us and watching over us and really just making sure, like just monitoring us, you know? And maybe that eye will soon come closer or something. Now, if you've never been on my channel before or haven't heard my channel before, you don't know that I'm a big skeptic when it comes to everything scientists have told us so far, NASA has told us so far, everything like that, as far as outer worldly stuff. I like to believe my own thoughts and I like to use my common sense for things. Like, for instance, I'm not saying the world is flat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when I throw things up, things come down. And they could say all fucking day, it's gravity. They can say that. You can say that. Everybody can say that. Understandable. But that would explain why the earth is like round, right? Gravity. But common sense would tell you that when you throw things up, they're going to come down because duh, like things come down because if that's up, this is down, things go up, things come down. That's common sense. So I'm not saying the earth is flat. It could be a a triangle or some bullshit maybe. I don't fucking know, but the whole point is that we live on a flat surface. Period. Because when things go up, they're going to eventually come down. The only thing that doesn't come down is gas, which makes perfect sense because that's all around us. Gas is all around us, point blank, period. So, gas is something that doesn't actually pull. Magnetic pull. Our bodies are full of metals. Yeah. I would believe that too. That's another good source. Another good thought process. That the earth is a magnet in between it, like in it. Understandable. But I don't know. It's just common sense. Sometimes I use my common sense for things. And then another thing that I also feel like I debunked was the fact that we breathe in oxygen. When you can't tell me what I'm breathing in right now. Yeah, oxygen probably does help us, but they usually give those they usually give oxygen to sick patients, and usually sick patients on oxygen don't usually survive that long. I'm just saying. Sick patients get oxygen, usually they never recover that well, or they still don't recover that well. Now, when somebody breathes into your mouth and gives you CPR, how do you get resuscitated if that makes no sense? Because we breathe out carbon dioxide, right? So if you're giving somebody a breath of carbon dioxide, see that just came to me, and I don't get that part. If we breathe out carbon dioxide, but you're giving somebody a breath of carbon dioxide when they need oxygen, you see where I'm going? So I like to debunk some of these things sometimes. You can't tell me, or no scientist actually proved that what I'm breathing in right now is oxygen. Obviously, they named it oxygen, but I think that it's one of the elements. Elements: air, earth, fire. Which fire I can debate with. Fire is man made. Is for the most part man made. Fire and air, water, fire, all the three elements, or four elements, sorry. Anyway, four elements that cannot be man made, other than fire. Fire could be man made. But other than fire, three elements you can't man made are unman made, and that's air. You cannot reproduce air. The air that we breathe in right now, you can't reproduce it. You can't just make it. And water, they can't produce water. You cannot make water. Water's here. It's already here. It's on Earth. That's it. And the Earth, you can't make the Earth. The Earth is already made. So fire is the only one that makes is out of all three is destructive, minus the fact that yes, tornadoes, yes, hurricanes, yes, earthquakes, understand. But fire's the one that can be controlled by humans and can be destructive. So that's why fire is a little bit uh a little bit like, I don't know how to explain it, but just a little bit like sus when it comes to the rest of the elements. Um Now if you are big on the horoscopes, you know that fire are the following. I actually don't remember. I know that fire is Aries. Fire is also, I want to say Leo, and Taurus, or Taurus might be Earth. No, somebody remind me. Is Taurus? Let me look it up real quick. I think Taurus is Earth. I'll get to it in a second. Let me just see what they are. And Sagittarius. Ah, okay. I was off. Taurus is Earth. Um, yeah, so Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. All of these signs are a bit fiery and have explosive. I mean, they can have explosive um types of mentalities and whatever, or personalities, fiery personalities in their own way. They're all fiery. But the one that stands out the most, which happens to be number one of the zodiac sign, is Aries. And I believe, me personally believe, Aries is, I think, is Aries the next sign up as far as next sign to in line of the year, or not year, but Aquarius. Because we're in a age. Yeah, the next age I think is going to be, or maybe we're in the next age. What's the next age? Start and end. What is start date? End date. Where is the end date? Okay, as of late of 2600. Okay, so we're still in the age of Aquarius. Whoop, sorry. We're still in the age of Aquarius, but I have reason to believe that the next age will be Aries. And according to this, says Aries doesn't start until 3597. So the year 3597. But, and I know obviously we all won't live till that long. I mean, unless they come up with some new, some scientific way of keeping us here longer, which I don't think is right, which I think that personally we should all die when we're supposed to die, not extend our lives past that. And yeah, so my thought process is this, is that Aries is the next sign to take over, and that's going to be the year or the age of fire. And like I said, age of fire. Fire is destructive. Fire is a um, man controlled element, where man can control fire and take fire and like use fire. So I don't know how that's gonna work out, because obviously, as you know, the age of the Aquarius, which we're in right now, which is why many people are coming to the knowledge, but are opening up their minds, knowledge base learning and just grasping more and more knowledge, which I don't know if the too much knowledge is a good thing or a bad thing, because it seems like a lot of people are learning just too much information, and it's causing like confusion, and it's causing like disarray, which also means confusion. And honestly, I think, like I said, going back to my first point, I think this is my fault, because as an Aquarius, I went through these steps, or these processes, and it's like I'm looking at my life go through going through everybody that's experiencing this right now that we're living in. And it's like I've experienced some of this already. And I don't know if that has anything to do with me. I just feel that way. So that's why I predicted what might happen next. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying that I think that everybody's going to experience where I was at this point in my life back then, years ago. And if I had to predict what would happen next, would be something phenomenal is about to be seen, and everybody's going to witness it. And when it happens, it's going to be a touchy moment for everybody, really touchy, really, really eye opening, really spiritually pleasing. And it's going to pretty much awaken our mental, it's going to take us higher than our mental capacity is. Like we're going to be using like what, I don't know how much percentage of the brain we're using right now, but instead of using that certain percentage, we're going to open up our brains to more percentage wise. And it's going to pretty much give us full capacity over our brains, to the point where I think that the sun, or God, or whatever, the creator, will use us for a, a better purpose, or we'll all find our purpose. But there, like I said, there'll be some people like I did, which will, they see it, it's there in their face, they know what to do, they've seen their purpose, they are feeling it, all of it, and then they'll retract for a certain reason, like for somebody that they love or somebody they care about. And that's not a bad thing. Like I said, love is never a bad thing. It'll be something that you and extremely regret afterwards. Like as soon as you do it, like as soon as you switch back, you're going to extremely regret it. But I'm not saying that you can't get back to that level again. It's just you're going to go through much more harder time than the people that are going to continue with that level of openness. So, and I could tell you what happened to me, but I think I've already said that. So I'm going to keep it like that you guys can go back and rewatch the videos. I don't remember exactly which video it was. If I remember, I can let you guys know, and I'll put it in the comments or the description, but I don't remember, to be honest. So, where I describe all of this happening to me and how I experienced something that was so magical. It made me tear up and cry, and I felt like I went to a different realm. But yeah, um, other than that, I'm gonna read my poetry and then I'll give you guys the rest of the night off. Cause yeah, I gotta get to bed too. My son usually wakes up around this time, so I'm trying to stay up till then. But if not, if he stays asleep, which I'm hoping he does, I'll be able to go to sleep myself. But here's my poetry. This is called Do You Know How Special You Are? Do you know how far I'd go just to see your beautiful grin? Do you know how much I'd cry if I never saw it again? Do you know how much it would hurt to never hold you in my arms? Do you know I never sleep the nights that you are gone? Do you know how high I'd climb just to reach your heart? Do you know all the walls I'd break that were keeping us apart? Do you know the places I'd go just to bring you your favorite gifts? Do you know I'd travel back in time just so you could be my first kiss? Do you know once was a time I didn't even know your name? Do you know that since the day you told me, my life has never been the same? Do you know how special you are? Because to me, you're worth a lot. Do you know that if you ever forget, I'll repeat this to you from the top? Snap it up, snap it up, snap it up, snap it up, snap it up. Yeah, that's one of my good favorites. One of the good favorites. One of the good ones. All right, I'm going to get to bed, so I'm going to say my mantras like usual. Spread love, think for yourself, live free. All right, have a great night, Rebels.